Serenor, making a valiant stand in defense of the Rozellien village, slays Silvio Tellior. Word of their disobedience reaches the Holy One, who sends an army to conquer the heretics. With the enemy only a day's march from their doorstep, House Wolffort and the Rozellien scramble to mount one last stand. Time is of the essence.
Chapitre 12, dans la paix des nuits. Du coup, bien le bonjour, bien le bonsoir, hein. Bienvenue pour la suite des aventures sur Triangle Stratégie. On est dans un moment un peu critique, puisque les Isantés ont appris notre trahison, entre guillemets. Donc ils envoient l'armée raser le village Rozellien qui est sur notre terre. Nous avons décidé de les protéger plutôt que de les livrer. On a enfin tué Silvio Tellior, ça c'est bon, c'est fini. Mais on a l'armée isantaise qui arrive. L'armée de Isante est proche. Que vont bien pouvoir faire Serenor et les autres dans le temps qu'il leur reste?
So that's the size of it. House Wolffort has gone to such great lengths for us.
It was our decision and ours alone. Your people brought nothing upon us.
It is as Serenor says. We are happy to do all that we can to protect you.
Forgive me, Lady Frederica, but your mother was Lady Orlea, was she not? You came to our rescue just as she did. I cannot help but feel 'twas fated to be so.
You knew my mother?
Where did you hear of this, Jerome? I've told you not a whit about her.
I overheard whispers between my mother and father long ago. Why would the elders labor to keep such information secret?
Well, truth be told, we feared being persecuted anew.
And so your greatest fears have come true. Pray, hide no longer, and tell Lady Frederica what you know.
You know the history of Hyzant's oppression of the Rozellien, yes? Then you know of the Rozellien revolt that occurred 30 years ago. Your mother, Lady Orlea, led that uprising at the source. She led us to freedom from Hyzant's rule, here to the Wolffort domain. She was a woman of great courage. She even left a sizable gash upon the goddess's statue as we departed.
The statue that stands tall in the source. I've never heard tell of this gash.
I reckon not. Hyzant would never admit to such a thing. But we, Rozellien, know the truth.
I had no idea my mother was involved with the revolt, let alone led it.
And it was my father who gave them this land to settle.
That he did. Lady Orlea, for her part, vowed to fight on, to liberate those who remained in Hyzant. The rest of us, battered and bruised in the escape, parted ways with her, and remained here to live out our days in peace.
And so she eventually found her way to Esfrost, where she was taken in. I thank you for sharing such a wonderful chapter of my mother's history.
I hear she rallied the people to her cause with these words. The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessings spread across all Norzélia. The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
How much of this have you heard?
Hold, I beg you, recite those words once more.
The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessings spread across all Norzélia. The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
So there exists a key that gives the lie to the goddess's teachings. With that in hand, we can yet confront Hyzant.
Pray tell, good elder, What might it look like?
Alas, I fear I do not know.
I know not to what they were referring, but my parents always said Lady Orlea left it in this village.
Then the key is here. Jerome, please. We would speak with your parents at once.
I'm afraid that's not possible. They both passed many moons ago.
We must find this key, Lord Serenor. I know it sounds like a fool's errand, but I feel we have no other choice.
I agree. 'Tis a slight hope, but hope nonetheless. Let the search begin.
Le pendentif. Le pendentif. Même si elle est bel et bien cachée dans ce village, je n'ai aucune idée de ce à quoi ressemble cette fameuse clé. Néanmoins, tant que la possibilité qu'elle existe subsiste, je ne peux pas abandonner. Je vais parler à tout le monde et voir ce que je peux tirer comme information. Et le minou, il est toujours là, tranquille. Jamais je n'accepterai de faire ce que Isante nous demande. Je le dois à mes enfants. Petite trajet curative. C'est qui tout? Quelque chose de spécial dans ce village? Si c'est quelque chose d'ancien, le doyen doit le savoir. Visiblement non. Dame Orléa a placé son espoir dans ce village. La croire sur parole n'est pas facile, mais nous nous devons de lui faire confiance. Soit la légende est trop vieille pour que quiconque s'en rappelle, soit quelqu'un nous cache quelque chose. Dans tous les cas, la seule chose que nous puissions faire est de chercher dans ce village. Faire. Rien d'autre. Un objet plutôt ancien. Je crois me souvenir qu'il y avait un vieux miroir derrière la maison du doyen. C'est peut-être ce que vous cherchez. Il est complètement rouillé maintenant, mais il était plutôt joli il y a longtemps. Les Rozellien ont très longtemps été persécutés. C'est compréhensible qu'ils n'aient pas envie que des étrangers viennent leur remémorer cette sombre période. Et toi, gamine, tu as rien vu? Mon papa et ma maman, ils sont en colère. J'ai peur. Non, tu sais pas plus, évidemment. Qu'est-ce que tu cherches? Un trésor? Exactement. Et toi, tu joues à cache-cache? Oui, quelque chose de très important. Désolé d'avoir chamboulé le village. Oui, mais il y a vraiment un trésor dans le village? Ah, à moins que ce soit ce que tu cherches? Mon papa et ma maman m'appellent toujours mon petit trésor. Malheureusement, non, mais tes parents disent la vérité. Tu leur es sans aucun doute très précieux. Donc je récupère de l'argent. Examinons, examinons. Examinons, examinons. Oui, c'est l'échelle, ok. Tout ce que nous voulions, c'était vivre en paix. Pourquoi a-t-il fallu qu'une chose pareille nous arrive? Tout est de votre faute. Je suis désolé de ne pas avoir su vous protéger. Préparez-vous à fuir au cas où. Fuir? Mais où? Peu importe, tant que vous aurez la vie sauve, vous pourrez reconstruire. Que va faire la maison Wolffort alors? Nous resterons jusqu'à la fin pour vous protéger au mieux. C'est notre devoir en tant que propriétaire de ce domaine. Sire Serenor. Quelque chose de spécial caché dans le village? Non, ça ne me dit rien du tout. Il y a sûrement dans ce village plusieurs choses qui pourraient être la clé que nous cherchons. Ah, attendez. Je dois fouiller le village pour trouver la clé, mais personne ne sait à quoi elle ressemble. J'ai fait le tour. Frédérica, je lui ai pas parlé. Que pouvait bien vouloir me transmettre ma mère avec ce journal? Il faut absolument trouver cette clé. Attendez, parce que... chose à quelque part, non? Super exceptionnel. Je suis pas allé dans cette maison. On n'a pas pu y aller l'autre fois. Je n'ai jamais entendu parler d'une quelconque clé. Bien sûr, il n'y a rien de tel non plus dans ma maison. Nous avons réussi à nous enfuir de justesse de la source et voilà que nous subissons une nouvelle épreuve. Les Roselliens sont peut-être réellement un peuple de pêcheurs après tout. Oh, toi tu nous caches quelque chose, effectivement. Qu'est-ce que tu nous dis, Bénédicte? Je me demande bien pourquoi les doyens nient catégoriquement l'existence de la clé. Croyez-vous qu'il nous laisserait fouiller chez lui? Il faudrait que nous réussissions à le faire sortir, mais je doute qu'il accepte si c'est moi qui lui demande. Non mais c'est bon, t'inquiète, on a fait le tour, on a vu le truc. C'est un vieux miroir complètement rouillé. Oui, c'est bien ça. Attendez, je vais enlever la rouille. Voilà, je l'ai nettoyé. Tenez. Waouh, qui aurait pu se douter que cette saleté cachait de si beaux motifs roses? Est-ce que ce miroir est la clé qui nous sortira de cette impasse? Vous avez obtenu un miroir rose pâle. Le miroir a été trouvé au village voisin. Très abîmé par le temps, ce miroir étrange a retrouvé son éclat au reflet rose pâle après avoir été soigneusement restauré. C'est pas trop le fait de devoir le duper, mais nous n'avons pas d'autre choix, n'est-ce pas? Il y a une boîte cachée sous le tapis. Le doyen a dû la placer là pour une raison. Oula. Est-ce que cette pierre est la clé qui nous sortira de cette impasse? Cette roche étrange a été découverte. Elle a été soigneusement dissimulée sous le plancher de la maison du doyen. Attends, il y a encore des trucs là? Non. Okay. Un miroir, une pierre. Nous pourrions peut-être même trouver ce que nous cherchons à l'intérieur de la maison du doyen. On a un miroir, une pierre, ouais, ok. Je vérifie hein, qu'on n'ait pas oublié un truc. Bon, franchement, je pense que... Le miroir et la pierre.
Elder, for the sake of the Roselle, I've come to speak with you about the key.
Lord Serenor, I am not one to speak in metaphor and code. I bid you tell me precisely what it is you seek.
Oh, il y avait un troisième truc. Moi, je pense que le pendentif, c'est une clé.
Could this pink rock be the key?
Where did you find that?
So it is the key. What do you...
Clearly I can deceive you no longer. I shall tell you everything.
What is this strange pink rock?
A simple taste shall tell you all you need to know.
Du sel.
My word, it tastes of salt. No, it is salt.
Truly, a rock of salt.
Indeed, it is. And the story behind it is a long one. This crystal before you was brought here by Lady Orlea.
My mother brought this?
And you knew of this the whole time, Elder?
Yes, but the seeds of conflict ought not to be left in the sun where they are apt to grow. That was our decision.
Are there any other crystals like this?
There are. Lady Orlea spoke of a repository rife with salt, hidden somewhere in Norzélia.
And where might that somewhere be?
Unfortunately, I do not know. And I feared the knowledge passed with Lady Orlea herself.
Do you know anything about this, Lady Frederica? Anything at all? Did your mother ever mention these crystals to you before? It is imperative that you remember.
I apologize, but this is my first time hearing of them as well.
Calm yourself, Benedict. You're scaring the lass.
Calm myself. The very existence of this crystal changes the nature of our realm as we know it. If you have ever wondered why Hyzant oppresses the Rozellien or confines them to the source, this is your answer.
So they did it all to hide the existence of the repository and monopolize salt.
C'est peut-être ce que Dragan avait découvert dans la mine.
Anyone who finds that repository could reign over all Norzélia.
Would it really have so great an influence?
Salt is a divine boon, a gift from the goddess to her true believers. It is one of Hyzant's fundamental beliefs, one that, due to their monopoly on both salt and the source, has appeared true all these years. But no longer. With this crystal alone, we can prove their doctrine false.
Revealing their absolute teachings to be mere fabrications would shake Hyzant to its very core.
There may be hope for us yet.
A report, my lord. Hyzant's army is on the horizon.
Lord Serenor, if you would, I should like to be the one to speak to them.
Of course, Benedict. I leave the matter in your capable hands.
Lord Serenor, how unfortunate it is for us to meet under such circumstances. But for disobeying the Holy One's order, I must strike you down.
Before that, Minister Exham, there is something we wish to show you.
It is a mere fragment of something we have discovered in this village. It is a crystal made entirely of salt.
What madness is this you speak? This
is salt indeed. But how is this possible?
It appears to have been passed down among the Rozellien, and in a quantity large enough to rival the source.
Unbelievable.
Perhaps so, but we have proof. Salt can be found in places other than the sacred grounds beneath the goddess's feet. I am certain the implications do not escape you.
What is it that you want?
An audience with the Holy One, and a guarantee of safety for us and everyone in this village.
It would be a waste to dispose of both the crystal and House Wolffort here.
Very well then. I shall secure you an audience with the Holy One. And you have my word that the village will be safe from harm.
Thank you, Minister.
Oh, how I wish I could see the Holy One's face contorted so.
Ah, il est pas si mauvais avec Sam. C'est cool.
We owe our lives to this. A crystal of salt. Or salt crystal, shall we call it?
The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessings spread across all Norzélia. The blessings of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
Can you imagine if crystals like this were hidden beneath the surface of Norzélia?
I cannot imagine Hyzant being blind to their existence. Salt is the lifeblood of their nation.
Agreed. Which leads me to believe that they have relentlessly oppressed the Rozellien to hide it.
You intend to negotiate with the Holy One, then?
Correct. This time, we shan't fail. Not with this salt crystal in our hands. Hyzant will swear its support to us.
If their teachings are truly false, could you not ask them to free the Rozellien at the source?
That is a risk we cannot afford to take. Our first priority is rebuilding Wolffort. Without it, we cannot even hope to protect our own Rozellien village. I do hope you understand.
I see. I suppose you are right.
What will you do once granted those privileges, Benedict?
What will I do?
I tire of being made to decide like this time and time again. Don't you, Serenor?
Oh putain, ouais, il a raison.
I
Hein.
do. Our choices grow ever harder, each time piercing me deeper.
It's time we decide what to do for ourselves. I wish to reclaim Glenbrook. With Hyzant beside us, we can defeat Asfrost. So when we meet, I will ask the Holy State to go to war with us.
House Wolffort protects the Rozellien in defiance of the Holy One's orders. Hyzant sends an army to punish Wolffort for their disobedience. Cornered though they may be, Serenor and his comrades discover a crystal of salt, hidden in the Rozellien village. Benedict leverages its very existence in negotiations with the opposing General Exum and succeeds.
En aucun cas, on a vaincu Exam, hein. On s'est pas battu contre lui. Hein.
The crystal holds the power to change not only Hyzant, but the entire land of Norzélia. With it in hand, Serenor goes to meet the Holy One.
Oh. Je vais faire une sauvegarde ici. Je vais regarder s'il n'y a pas les choses annexes. Non. Simplement ce chapitre est un petit peu plus court. Serena, on va tenter d'obtenir une audience avec l'oracle en se servant de la gemme de stèle trouvée dans le village Rozellien.
We granted you an audience because of Minister Exum's petition, but I did not expect you to show us this. A crystal made of salt. How very fascinating. It certainly does contradict the doctrine here in our blessed land. Or it would, were it real. Have you any proof that this was not created by magic or technology?
Well...
With all due respect, Minister, I have a question for you in return. What do you think of Asfrost and Glenbrook's decree to stop trade with Hyzant?
I think it nothing more than a threat. Neither would last very long without our salt.
Gustadolf is no fool. Such an edict would not come without proper countermeasures in place. Countermeasures such as another source of salt, for example. Having their own salt would make Hyzant's redundant, at best, and your nation would soon find itself in dire straits without the salt tax's revenue.
What is it you want from us?
Your full support.
Lend us your strength, and together we can defeat Asfrost, and Hyzant's ties to all nations will remain intact.
You mean to start a war? The kingdom of Glenbrook may be naught but a puppet now, but it was once your homeland. You understand this, yes?
We do.
Even so, my people do not wish for war. We must try to resolve this peacefully first.
Do you think Gustadolf can be reasoned with? Need I remind you that it was he who invaded Glenbrook? He is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Be that as it may, neither my people nor soldiers will accept it as a reason to go to war.
Then I shall give you one. For I am the second son of King Regna. Roland Glenbrook.
Roland, prends les devants! Oui! Vas-y, Roland!
There is no mistaking that face.
Huh. So the prince lives to slay his kingdom's invader. We could not ask for a better reason.
If you need a just cause to go to war, let it be me. We must stop Gustadolf.
It all makes sense now. O Holy One, have you heard? Pray, tell me what you would have us do. It shall be done. Wolffort, Prince Roland, heed the words of the Holy One. The holy state of Hyzant stands with you. The Holy One would see you defeat Asfrost and restore peace to Norzélia. Our nation shall spare no effort in your fight against Gustadolf. From this day forth, we support Prince Roland as our commander and Lord Serenor as one of
Non mais je m'en fous de ça.
Seven.
Me? A saint?
Mais je veux pas.
We are brethren now. We ride to war together.
Well, would you look at that? We secured Hyzant's support, and you even got yourself named one of the Saintly Seven.
We also received a signed document stating the Rozellien in Wolffort are left in our care.
Good going, lad.
Oh, it is Benedict and Roland to whom we owe this victory.
Everyone here has suffered so much on my behalf. My weakness and worthlessness have brought pain and misfortune to you all. And for that I must apologize.
You've got nothing to apologize for. I already told you. House Wolffort's the sword and shield of the crown.
I've decided that I must press forward, even if it means crawling forth on my hands and knees. I ask for your support as always. I know I will need it.
And you shall have it. I am with you every step of the way, my lord.
Is something the matter, Frederica?
No. My apologies for worrying you.
Now, To battle! We take back Glenbrook with our own hands!
C'est pas fini? Histoire annexe. Les 7 saints débattent de la réunion qui vient d'avoir lieu et les avis divergent.
Did you know about this salt crystal exam?
No. Neither did I know of Prince Roland's survival. I thought he had perished.
Likewise. What did you make of the Holy One's decree?
Hyzant is a grand nation, but unfortunately not one blessed with a bountiful harvest of anything other than salt. Were we not able to trade, there is no doubt our nation would wither to naught. We've relied solely on salt for much too long, and that reality was made painfully clear to us.
Harsh words, but true nonetheless. Do you think we can triumph over Esfrost?
Mark my words, Minister Camsell. There is no fight Exham Marshal cannot win.
T'as perdu contre moi au tournoi?
The Holy One has ordered for us to deliver our Elfric to House Wolffort.
And here I thought your research results to be top secret. What a curious turn of events.
Perhaps the Hierophant determined it a good chance to test them in the field. They could easily sink an Esfrosti's ship or two.
And yet I see not a trace of a smile on you.
I never wanted to build weapons for war.
Yet you don't think twice about toying with human life. How ironic.
How dare you!
Have a wonderful day.
The audacity of Edor's dog.
C'est trash talk. Ok. Il n'y a rien à Icefrost en ce moment, non. Ok. Bah écoutez, on continue. Des nouvelles de Sicras parviennent à Gustadolf, annonçant de nouveaux affrontements.
Are you certain it's wise to return to Esfrost alone, Your Grace? You are needed here.
If Sicras's missive is to be believed, I'm afraid matters are far too grave to be left to anyone else. Svarog's deception is nearing its climax. His ill-gotten profits are being used to build a weapon of untold destructive power.
Our anonymous source from the manufactory hinted at as much. Svarog is bold to have carried out his plan this far.
Death Snell? What's that?
Let the adults speak, my dear.
If we're to be wed, then there should be trust between us. How long do you intend on treating me like a child?
Very well. Tell her, Thalos.
If you insist, brother. This weapon combines the powerful explosives developed by Dragan with Esfrost's mastery of steelcraft. Although yet to be tested, this cannon is said to have the power to breach even Hyzant's walls. The goddess's shield would buckle under a single blast.
But the shield is impregnable.
I have heard nothing of this. Do you think so little of your general?
A general is to win me victory, as and when I command it.
Svarog's intent isn't to bring Hyzant to heel, however. He means to use the cannon against Brother. But the fool was so blinded by ambition that he never saw the strings guiding his every deed.
Fool that he may be, he served his purpose well. The cannon could not have been made without his engineers and Dragan's research. He will die secure in the knowledge that his bloodline contributed to the glory of Esfrost. Sadly, he shall not live to see his work completed. With it, we shall do what our forebears could not. The goddess's shield shall yield before Esfrost's might and ingenuity.
If we can even approach the walls, brother, the trade embargo will ensure that Hyzant is especially wary of our actions.
On the contrary, their focus will turn inward. With naught else to leverage their influence with, they will take measures to see that none of their precious salt escapes their borders. There may be some gnashing of teeth, to be sure, but it will only be in an attempt to hide their inner turmoil. Erica, muster a force, and march to the Hierophant's palace at once. Deliver to Hyzant my final demands.
As you wish, brother. I shall gather what news I can of the Saintly Seven's machinations.
Thalas, you will remain in Glenbrook. Conduct yourself as if I had never left.
You hardly need ask, brother.
That is all. Now go.
Even his own flesh and blood are but tools to be used and then discarded when their purpose is served.
He has faith only in himself. Such has ever been his way.
Ah, c'est la fin du chapitre 12. Incroyable. Incroyable. Franchement, je kiffe l'histoire. Et je me dis qu'en plus, il y a des embranchements. Que j'aurais pu avoir une toute autre aventure en fonction des choix. C'est un truc de dingue. Non, franchement, j'accroche vraiment au jeu. En tout cas, merci d'avoir suivi. C'était le chapitre 12 de Triangle Stratégie. C'était le gala 29 pour RPG Univers.